Okay.
Whatever.
Alright, cool. Most of us, when we think of exercise, we think of losing weight and like having good health, I guess you could say. But what if I told you guys that weight loss has nothing to do with exercise? You guys believe me? I mean, before doing this project, I honestly thought that like in order to lose weight, you gotta exercise. You know, like you gotta run, you gotta go to the gym. And where I want to get today is that it's a fact that losing weight has nothing to do with exercising. And there is a professor in San Diego who says it in his own words, and it's gonna be a 40-second video. I'm just gonna press play and then skip to the part where I want it to be, so that way you guys can be able to hear him and other things that I want you guys to listen to.
To understand the injustice that has been done to exercise, let's
Exercise, you can see when compared with no treatment, exercise resulted in very small weight loss across the board. Exercise does not cause weight loss. What does exercise do? It causes muscle gain. Muscle, mitochondria. Mitochondria burn energy. So exercise is the single best thing you can do for yourself. But if you think it's going to show up on the scale, think again.
In a September 2016 issue of Time magazine, Dr. Mark Tarnopolsky said that if there were a drug that could do for human health everything that exercise can, it would likely be the most valuable pharmaceutical ever developed. To understand what makes exercise...
So basically, he just says that you know, there's so many more things that exercise can benefit from, you know, and if it's not letting us lose weight, what's exercise for? You know what I mean? And that brings me to my purpose statement, where I want to make you guys understand that exercise has the most impact on the brain, and I particularly want to focus on two parts of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, and the second one, the temporal lobe. Okay, I know you guys don't know anything about brains probably, but I'm gonna go ahead and explain it to you. Let's see.
You may have to scroll out of the video.
Yeah. There. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So like I mentioned, this is the prefrontal cortex and the temporal lobe. This is actually a real human brain. It's preserved, you know, so it's pretty interesting to see. And the first thing I want is my main point number one, which is the prefrontal cortex. I want to explain to you like what exactly does this part of the brain do, okay? And this basically in bullet points, the prefrontal cortex is what is the decision making, the focus, the attention, and the personality, okay? And what does it do when we exercise? And there are two results we get from exercising, and it causes two chemicals to react, which is endorphins and BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. All right, get scared. All right, so the endorphins actually minimizes the discomfort of exercises and reduces stress level, and actually what's it called? How do you say it? Like the feeling of pleasure, you feel it more. And then Dr. Melissa Connor-Stopler states in her article, specifically about endorphins, is that, like I mentioned before, you feel less pain and fewer negative effects of stress. And the BDNF acts as a reset switch, okay, so it allows us to clear our minds when we're working out. And as many of you do know, when you guys worked out, afterwards you feel good. And it says here well, according to genetics home reference, BDNF is found in regions of the brain that control eating, drinking, and body weight. So basically, like after workout, personally for me, after workout, I want to eat something healthy. I'm not craving Coke. I'm not craving McDonald's. I'm not craving like any of those things. I just want like something healthy. So that's one of the positive effects that it has on the prefrontal cortex. And now secondly, on the temporal lobe, it's basically like a control panel of our personality. I don't know how many of you guys seen, I think it's called Inside Out. Inside Out, yeah. The Disney movie. Hopefully you guys seen it. Alright, so basically it's like a control panel with where, basically what it is it controls our movement. Alright? And that's extremely important because exercising, like I mentioned before, actually has a big impact on the way we feel. For example, I've decided to test this morning, actually at 4:30 in the morning. It wasn't planned. No, it was planned, but it wasn't planned that I wasn't gonna get any sleep because I was doing this project. But I still went 4:30 in the morning. I took pictures and everything, but for some reason I couldn't upload them. But still, I went to the gym 4:30 and then I got out like around 6:30. And then right now, like normally, I'd be like sitting down, dozing off a little, but I'm more alert, okay? And honestly, like I feel good. Normally I work out like in the afternoon because that's when I have time to work out. But basically, I decided to experiment this. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try this in the morning, really early in the morning, and see what it does. And honestly, I have seen the difference, and I know if you guys try it as well, you guys will see a difference in your day too. And now, not only does it affect our mood, but it reduces the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. I'm not saying it can cure Alzheimer's. I'm not saying it can cure other cancer things, but it reduces it, okay, which is a good thing. And you always get to live longer. Who doesn't want that? I mean, I want to live longer. And it reduces, like I said, the risk of some cancers. And basically, in the end, it makes us feel good. All right. So it's not about like how we look. It's about how we feel, and that's the most important thing we can do. And I want to conclude this with Mark Twain quote. He says, "Eat a live frog first thing every morning, and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day." Okay, I really like this quote because honestly, in other words, the meaning of this is you got to complete the most challenging task in the morning, so that way the rest of the day it'll come easy for you. And that's why I decided to try this out, work out in the morning, and hopefully after school I work, it'll come easy for me. And I know that if you guys try it, like I said before, you guys will see a difference. And I hope you guys enjoyed the little presentation and can take something out of this. Thank you.
All right, Kiza, what did you think? Apparently you're not going to tell me. You must not be here.
All right, well, I'll tell you what I thought. You can just close up.
Yeah.
You don't have to stand up there while this is going on. Not necessary at all. All right. The visualization at the beginning was okay. It takes too long to get to the quote and to get through the quote. It's like 2 minutes before you finally get to what your purpose statement is. So probably it needs to be focused a little bit more. You need to sharpen things up a bit because it feels a little bit like you're spinning your wheels at the beginning. Not that the quote, the video clip wasn't interesting. I thought the video clip is a good idea, and the reference to the research that the doctor is doing is also fine. But like I said, the setup took some time, and I like the notion that you have this rhetorical question and this exercise that you've decided to do as part of the process. But like I said, it takes almost I won't say almost, it takes over 2 minutes for you to finally get to your purpose statement. And that's a long time at the beginning of the speech, so that needs to be cut down. There is a pretty solid preview. You're just going to be talking about the two sections of the brain and the impact that exercise has on that, so that's straightforward. You signpost the first one. You've got a visual that does that. I thought the flow material, the flow chart with the effects of the brain and then the endorphins on the brain, that sort of thing, was a little bit less clear than it might have been. Although I could see the relationships between the 2 points that you were showing, that made sense. The relationship to the other information that you had at the beginning that was there, I didn't know how it was connected to any of that. So that was a little bit problematic. You were, I think, a little bit better on the second one, where you were explaining things as you went along. I did like the fact that you had some of your quoted material included in the visual as a way to kind of reinforce that idea. That's not necessary, but it didn't hurt anything that you were doing. The one negative impact that I think it does have a tendency to produce is, and this is a side note, this isn't what we're emphasizing right now, but it is something that I want to take note of and that you should pay attention to. You have a tendency to give your speech to the screen. All right, so you're doing a lot of talking where you are pointed at the screen, reading what's up there. That's where your information is, so you face that the vast majority of the time, and you should be talking to us. There are times when you do that. You turn around, you face the audience, and you do that. But boy, when there's something up there that you're going to read, it's like you just kind of disengage from us, and that's a bad habit. It's okay if you kind of glance over your shoulder to double check the information is there that you need, but hopefully you'll know it well enough that you won't have to read it off of the screen to the audience. I thought the visuals were nicely put together. They were organized in an effective way. There's a little bit of humor in each of them, so that was okay. Like I said, I'm not sure the video clip was as necessary. I think you probably could have gotten the same thing out of maybe just quoting the doctor, and that would have maybe saved a little bit of time. All right, and at the finish, I can tell you you've got to finish, but you just are having a hard time closing. It's like you've got the right finish exit line, and you've got it there, and you say it, and then you don't finish. You just keep talking. I'm going, wait, that was the line. He's not talking. Why didn't he stop? And then you keep talking, and it kind of ends up undermining what you were doing.
Yeah.
Have more confidence in what you've decided to do, and just do it. Sound like Nike. All right, thank you.